Welcome to That Comic Smell podcast. With your hosts,
David Robertson,
Fernando Pons,
Giuseppe Labertino,
and Tom Stewart, with special guest
Alan Henderson.
where did you come through from?
I'm in Broxburn, so just outside Edinburgh.
Right. Did you come through just to see us?
I'm off this week, so I was saying to Tom, I've been talking about coming over for ages, and I thought, well, if I'm off,
Yeah,
and you guys are, I might as well
nice.
make something life easy.
It's nice to see you in the flesh.
I say,
Let's have a look at your artwork here now.
do you want to see some of the originals, or
This is stuff you've collected, is
yeah, so this is some of my collection.
This is
If you want to see what some original pages are, or any of the shadow collection is.
You've invested some money in an original.
Well, as I say, some of it's about getting in the right time, the right place.
Yes.
And because some of it isn't as expensive as you think. The bit that gets me is some of these pieces, which
Oh, no way.
the 1950s. In fact, there's one piece there from the 1940s.
Brilliant.
They were less than a tenner each.
That's class. They were, what did you just say?
These were less than a tenner each.
Oh my god.
So it's like, oh, it's ridiculous.
It is, yeah.
Is that Bob McLeod?
Yep.
That was face. Oh, I do have the New Mutants by Bob McLeod. That's.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
Probably best prize.
G-Man.
Giuseppe.
Alright.
Alan, Giuseppe, Alan.
Hiya, nice to meet you. You alright?
That's amazing. Think about reading all this. Alan.
Yeah,
That is just.
This is it.
That must be a one-off collection in the world.
Well, it's weird because there's another guy. Again, one of the things of being a comic art fans, you can actually.
I didn't
other
see
people's
that on the
collections,
way.
And there's a guy in the States.
It's got
who's
it was pretty dark.
collector
So.
shop.
No.
And I actually bumped into him in New York at one of the New York shows, and we were at an art gallery, and he was there, and I was like, I know who you are. He said, you don't know who I am, but we've got this thing in common. And it was kind of one of those weird conversations where he was kind of looking at me going, I'm going to back away slowly. And we're coming up to the end. So,
Which one of Alan's pages would you steal if you can get away with it?
Oh. I've seen there far too many. I like.
Have you
You've only
got
allowed one.
the, you got the spike
It's
in
hard to beat Timm
Edge
and
and
Battle
Rabbit?
Batman.
I'd have to.
Yeah.
Timm and Battle.
I'd have
see,
to.
Tom's had the advantage of looking at the other stuff that's online.
That's
that
true.
I didn't bring with me. So.
Those the ones he hasn't brought.
He's not
looking at the selection he's brought.
What he hasn't realised is he's here and not in Edinburgh.
I might get it.
Yeah, Mike's not here.
Maybe just cut your piece and take that, and then
Just
when
cut
people
mine.
want a piece, they'll
Mine.
cut it and they can take it.
And then just sit and hold it.
Well.
I mean, why not?
Well,
Flat in the box.
What one would you want,
Yeah, fly in the box.
David?
Sorry, what?
What one would you want?
Oh, well, I'm thinking the Jim Aparo Batman page.
I just take the line in this one.
Cheers for that.
That's it.
That was.
No, as I say, it's one of those ones where there are times I'm like going, it's there to be enjoyed, and if it's sitting in sitting in a folder in my bedroom, it's not really being true.
Great to see though. You've been
Yeah.
collecting for years, eh?
Yeah, so as I say, I've
loads
got
of
a bunch of stuff that's actually just in sketchbooks as well, and that goes all the way back to about 2002, thereabouts. In terms of just, and those were the good days where you could go up to artists at cons and you could have a sketch, and you say yes, and they give you your book back, and you walk away. No money needed to be exchanged. And,
It's getting rarer, isn't it?
project times. It's ridiculous.
So, Alan, just a question. So, looking at your sporting a generous, nice moustache.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it Sergio Aragonés?
Yeah. On the
Yeah.
Continental, maybe. Freight a tinge of
Have
French.
you managed to make him or get that sketch or something?
So
from
I
him?
met Sergio at the Lakes last year.
Yeah, so did you?
Yeah.
And so I got a nice little doodle of him then, yeah. Which was one mustachioed man to another.
The second Aragonese is, well, it's a bit.
Yeah, I love
They were big fans
grooves
of
and
him.
like one of my favourite things when I was growing up. Well, probably my favourite comic at one point, Grooves and Wanderer. But yeah, I just love this style.
That's
Oh,
the
oh,
moment
it's
that's
that.
done. He's done lots and lots and lots and lots. Lots of stuff. What's that good for Mad Magazine?
Yeah.
That book that you gave me.
I know. I'm sorry
That's
I gave you
beautiful.
that now. I should have kept that.
Thank you so much. I'll thank you all my life for it.
What book was it?
You gave
It was
me
at the Art of
the art
Sergio.
of
Big-
Sergio
Oh,
Aragonese.
fucking hell, nice.
Big hardcover
What,
with all
did
this
you kind of get bored of brilliance?
No, I bought it special.
Oh, right.
Was
Oh,
it
give me
40th?
oh,
Wasn't
okay.
it?
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
you,
yeah.
you had one of yours that you didn't
No, I
want
kind of
anymore.
went, oh, you like that, and then it arrived and I looked at it and I thought,
Fucking hell, I like that.
What's not to like for Sergio Aragonese,
I sort
honestly.
of committed in my mind.
See, that's
so-
right. A quick trip down to the garage and go, here's a bunch of flowers.
Thanks.
Is it still in print? Is it still in print?
I don't know.
I'll
Check.
The Art of
Is
Sergio. Is
I'll
it?
bring it next week.
Yeah, that'd be nice to see. Yeah.
Okay, let's just start with me. Most accurate cover there.
Nice.
And you go for She-Hulk
Is she called Hulka?
in
In-
Spain.
Hulka. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, in Spain they just went
Hulka. Brilliant.
Hulk. That's it. She-Hulk. Now leaving that apart the cover. When She-Hulk joined the Fantastic Four in the 80s, when John Byrne was the creator, was the creator of those comics at the time, he incorporated She-Hulk into the team, and then that's the way I discovered She-Hulk. I knew that there was a comic before that, because I remember some kids' school. There was one of my friends there. He had some of the Hulk comics, and they had the first She-Hulk adventures as a complement or supplement to it. But generally, the stories itself there was not much depth about it. And then
The She-Hulk.
with the She-Hulk, really. Yeah, it was the cousin of Bruce Banner. He got a blood transfusion from him, and then she acquired the powers of the Hulk, but without losing the intelligence, etc., etc. So there wasn't very much a part of that, really, as far as I remember. Dave, you can.
I like that kind of torn.
The torn.
I miss that.
Hulka.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they just made that up in order to. They
To
figured
know-
out any company can come around and make Mrs. Hulk, and
Yeah.
they wouldn't be able to stop them. So that
Yeah.
once they realised that, they quickly
Because they did it not to lose the
She-Hulk.
rights of a possible female version of the Hulk.
They did Spider-Woman at the same
As
time.
well, yeah. Carmen Infantino.
How many years
Yeah.
after did she appear? From the original Hulk?
It's like late 70s,
I
wasn't
was
it?
going to say, the late
Late
70s when,
70s.
Yeah.
not be a Marvel kid as such, but
Mm.
yeah, it would be that sort of period because all
Yeah.
the books were getting redone at that point with, as you say, let's just use gender swaps with regard to a lot of the things, or
Yeah.
introducing a
Because
female version of.
Spider-Man and She-Hulk, that was late 70s when that
Right.
happened. Pretty sure. But I discovered She-Hulk through the Fantastic Four, and then I like what John Byrne did with the collection, because he did a collection where it was more of a comedy, and it wasn't taking himself seriously. And yeah, there were covers where She-Hulk would appear and the cover and say, if you don't buy this comic, I'm gonna rip all your X-Men comics. Or things like that. There was breaking always the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And that's what I really enjoyed of the series. And She-Hulk would talk to you, and
Oh, she'd do that through the comic as well.
Yeah.
Just
And
like
she would talk to you as the reader and say, do you think this is seriously? Honestly, come on, John, why are you drawing me like that with a bikini? Come on, I'm an intelligent woman, I'm a lawyer, etc., etc. So it was all the jokes and the puns from that point of view. And I always been a fan of John Byrne, so to me, She-Hulk was the choice. I really thought about many things. I thought about Elektra, but there's Elektra. Yes, really good, but there's not much depth into the actual character of Elektra and the Frank Miller.
I don't know if there is recently, but
And I thought about other characters like from DC, Wonder Woman, Lois Lane. There we go. But I decided, no, I'm gonna go Marvel, which is my kind of...
In that She-Hulk run by Byrne, there is one of, I mean, if you can ever get it, it's an amazing issue. And I think it's number 50, which was basically Byrne's last issue, where he'd said he was going to leave the title and move on to something else. So for the 50th issue, again, it's all about, she's then really upset that he's basically ditching it.
Yeah.
Wall and but what they actually did, they got a who's who of artists to come in and run that episode, because it's like, who's going to replace? So you've actually got Miller in there doing, and she's walking around going, why am I getting soaked in the rain? Because all done like the Sin City style, where everything's coming through. Like, what is this all about?
That sounds
you get Dave Gibbons, Frank Miller, Wendy Pini.
The Pini, where they actually said, I am not a pixie. It's that sort of stuff where it's like, because it was all the ElfQuest stuff that they were. So it's brilliant as an episode of just to flip that, where it's just, and it's a who's who of...
And it was a page each they were doing.
Couple.
Couple of pages.
And it was, as I say, it's that whole done as Sin City style, and it is that she's just absolutely peed off that she's getting soaking wet. But of course, every Sin City page looks exactly like that. It's raining all the time, and she's like, "Oh, I can't, we can't go forward like this because I'm just going to get cold all the time." That's what,
and then the Wendy Pini one.
Yeah. Again,
like the Elvis style. So yeah, they're all, and that's what I like of it, because you will
Simonson bit in it as well.
There is a the Simonson, the Gibbons, look, as it was like a Thor version.
It's the
why
am I stomping everywhere?
Sounds like it was an interesting run. I can see why you liked it.
I like the series, and because it didn't take itself seriously, but at the same time, John Byrne was trying to get the character, more well known. There was depth. He said, well, I think there's something we can do here. And the matter of fact is, years later, then they did Deadpool, and what Deadpool has done and is doing even more is this sort of stuff. Okay, exaggerated, more violent, but that was, to me, that was the origin of it.
Right,
in a way. In a way.
Deadpool's doing nothing that Lobo didn't do in the 90s.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Lobo.
No, I agree with you.
I've got some, but I've never read it.
But yeah, that's the...
Is it worth a good read? Is it good? Parts of it.
Called. The one that's definitely worth reading is The Ultimate Wisdom of Lobo, which is a completely blank book that came with them in the slipcase. When they did a slipcase edition of the original Lobo miniseries, The Last Azarian, and I think it was Lobo's greatest hits in terms of just collecting his stuff from Legion, they put in an extra prestige format book in the slipcase, and everyone was like, "Oh, we must get this!" And it was the complete collected wisdom of Lobo, and you opened it, and it's blank throughout.
What?
Absolutely blank.
What a bastard!
And everybody was like, "So we just spent all this money to get this book, and there's nothing in it." Yeah.
Nice trick.
Who was some of your runners-up again?
Elektra was one of them, and then I was thinking about look at that, Lois Lane or Wonder Woman.
Lois Lane.
And then it came to me, what about Catwoman?
What about who, sorry?
Catwoman.
Oh, yeah.
She was on my list as well, but didn't quite.
I haven't
quite do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only Catwoman I read has been through the Batman comics. I haven't read any of Catwoman series or comics. So, I don't know. But yeah.
See, it's just Michelle Pfeiffer for me. So that's it.
Okay.
I'll take that, that's it. And maybe a bit of, what's her name from
Halle Berry.
66? No.
Halle Berry. That's what you said.
No.
Yeah, I forget. She was Catwoman.
Yvonne De Carlo?
Yeah.
Was it Yvonne De Carlo?
No, actress. The actress who played her in
Yeah, I can't remember.
in Batman. That's going to annoy me. It'll come back to me.
Yeah, that was a bit as far as Catwoman made it for me. Aside from that,
No, it's a Catwoman. Sorry, I'm picking back up. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
Julie Newmar.
Julie.
There we go.
Ah,
Thank you.
yep.
Julie Newmar.
What film's that?
That's the original Batman series.
TV show.
Adam West.
Oh, from then. All
There's a
right.
few
Yeah.
different Catwoman. I remember Eartha Kitt.
So, what was your favourite?
My favourite is
Yeah.
His mum.
I swear to God,
Calvin's
I
mum.
I stood there for Calvin's mum.
yeah, Calvin's mum. She's absolutely brilliant.
Really? Why?
She's just brilliant. She's the one that has the jokes a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Especially between if you see like the mum and dad sitting in bed, it's her that gets the punchline.
Right.
Like he'll set up the joke, but she gets the punchline every
Right.
time, and she's the one who kind of sets Calvin up a lot of the time when it's they two as well.
All right.
She's fantastic. She's absolutely brilliant. There's no other way. There's no other person. I've got a whole load of people that I was going through, and I'm picking apart all the female characters out of Peanuts, and I went into Wick and Divine, and I'm like, oh,
There's a few
Lucy
there,
from
yeah.
Wick and Divine's amazing. I really like her, but she's although I only read the first two. Got Mike's Choice of Big Barda and stuff like that.
Big
Big
Bad.
Mr. Miracle.
Big
like-
Bad and brilliant.
I like a bit of Batgirl. This Batgirl Burnside was really nice as well.
It's not alone.
I like this sort of costume redesign and whatnot as well.
Yeah.
And your lead character from strong female protagonist and everything, and Bone as well.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wouldn't be anything
Rose,
without Rose. But when it comes down to it,
Calvin's mum.
it's Calvin's mum.
Calvin's mum.
She's weird because she's
Calvin's mum.
possibly the least dark character in Calvin and Hobbes,
Mm-hmm.
given that it's an exceptionally dark comic strip.
But it's so good.
Oh no, it's amazing. But the thing is that for all the humour that's in it, it is very, very dark. And as is Peanuts as well in terms of a lot of the stuff. But
Mhm.
and a lot of the female characters in Peanuts again are actually quite dark in terms of like humour content.
It's because it's at the end of the day, it's because it's a lot of these strips are done by like solitary middle-aged men sitting doing these strips. So there's like a sudden there'll be a twist that comes.
Yeah,
Over in their
some of
head as
them
they're
draw
drawing it.
penguins and some of them draw like
I freely admit that the Penguin's very cynical in terms of his approach as well. But no, just think, obviously there's a lot of stuff in Peanuts where it is all about how depressed is Charlie Brown in terms of that.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
You have to think of Calvin and Hobbes, the fact that it starts from the premise of saying that this kid has so few friends
Yeah.
that he's decided to bring his stuffed toy to life,
Mhm.
right? Now the dad in Calvin and Hobbes is equally quite downtrodden and
Mm-hmm.
workaday stuff. So yeah, it's amusing from that perspective that the one positive character in that family setup is the mother.
She's yeah, that's very true. Right enough. That's very true. But she's just, I don't know, just even the way he draws her sometimes, just those sort of like knowing looks at him, like, oh god, like shut up, or when she's absolutely screaming at him,
It's the fact he can do it with so few
he's just
marks on the page. That's what it's criminal.
I just absolutely adore Bill Watterson. Absolutely adore him. I can't get enough.
Like he's a genius.
Yeah, but honestly, sifting through this whole pile, and I'm writing out a list of all these characters, and I'm going through all these superheroes, like Ms. Marvel and everything as well, and original Carol Danvers Ms. Marvel when she started as well, and Power Girl, and Supergirl, Black Canary, Betty Ross, Karen Page, Black Widow, Sue Storm, Judge Anderson, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Mary Jane, Aunt May, the big heavy hitters.
Mary Jane, yeah. Gwen Stacy.
But at the end of the day, I think she totally takes it. But then this is one of my all-time favourites.
I like how you picked her out. Like,
It's something I read every day without fail, and it's because it's so easy to get there strips online.
Funny what Alan was saying though about being dark. When I read it, I didn't pick up that.
No, you don't. It's not. It's just with
In
the
Peanuts,
there's a lot of darkness in Peanuts.
it's
Peanuts
kind
is-
of
Peanuts is a
there
bunch
for you
of
to see that.
Peanuts is a bunch of kids with mental health
Yeah.
issues. Every single one of them.
Whereas Can Hobbes, I thought
Yeah.
Can Hobbes, I thought was quite actually deep, but not dark at
But
times.
you should just start from that premise of going that this kid is so alone.
Yeah, but I'd not heard that before. I'd never heard of it framed in that way, like you said, where. I mean, is that the premise that he's so lonely that because I was just thinking, oh, that's just what every kid would do. He'll bring his toy to life if he can.
But it's the fact that he then goes on and he doesn't play with Susie and he doesn't get on with the babysitter and he doesn't, and it is just
Right.
it builds from that.
Right,
and
okay.
you're right, there's nothing wrong from it saying it's that perspective, but it has to start from that level of darkness because it can then go that all the humour sits on top of it. But most of the comic strips of that nature are of that space. Peanuts we've talked about. If you go to Gilbert's really dark in terms of its cynicism.
That's what I'm reading at the moment. That's what I like a lot.
A lot of that is just them taking lumps out of each other in terms of departments and stuff.
Because I was thinking the only woman I could think of, because I'm reading Gilbert at the moment, is
Carol.
her who can't control her. She basically can't suffer fools. She's the woman with the
Carol.
triangular
Yeah,
haircut,
Carol.
And
But a lot, as I say, Fred Bassett's another one which is really quite depressing because
I've
it's just
not read Fred
it's
Bassett.
the Basset Hound dog based one, which again is it's quite it comes from that position of going you've got that level of cynicism that you can then play off to.
It's the guy with a flat cap and you can't see his eyes. And it's just the
handicap.
nose.
Handicap.
That's handicap.
Yeah, that's handicap.
That's Andy
Which
Cap.
again is a story about an alcoholic wife beater, but
Oh,
it's,
that's not Fred. Right.
that has a lot of humour that comes in. It's, actually, he usually normally gets beat up by her, but it's an alcoholic with social abuse or family abuse. It's,
Yeah, I've not
if you
read
want to
that
pick
either.
through a lot of these things,
Yeah,
there's
oh,
a
yeah.
lot of different
When you
ways
start
to
picking
go.
up
all of
if
them.
you don't take them at face value, a lot of the time you can get to
Yeah.
these kind of things.
Well, Batman, I mean, he's a,
There's
it's
more.
a sociological psycho. I mean,
Who?
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
nuts.
yeah, I know, yeah.
There's
Well, they are pretty nuts, aren't they? Yeah.
but there was loads more that I was going through. Like say, I mean, you look at like the Beano and the Brandy and stuff as well. Like, you got like Many of the Nights, Peril of Peril, stuff like that. You've got Ma Brune and stuff as well with the Bruins.
Oh, yeah, I've never read it.
There's loads of them.
We didn't get it in England.
I know. I know. Wait, I thought you did, but just nobody could fucking understand it.
No, it was never sold. I
Really?
never once saw it in a shop. Because it was its own thing, wasn't it?
I thought DC Thompson's would have still tried to peddle it. Regardless.
They may have done, and then realised that they weren't selling.
Mm.
And then by the time I was buying them in the late 70s, whatever, it was like there weren't any on the shelves.
Yeah.
It was just Beano and Dandy.
We used to have great
And-
fun sending it over to Canada and getting my cousins in Canada to try to read it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't go too well.
Help me, Bob.
But yeah, feel free to dig through, have a look if you want to go through some of these as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it still comes down to Calvin's mum for me. Definitely. But yeah, I read Calvin and Hobbes every day because they do the strips on the Twitter feed. There's an official one and then there's an unofficial one. And the unofficial one's better because it actually follows the storyline, so it does them completely sequentially. Yeah, it does like one strip and then the next day you'll get the next part of that story, or you'll get two in one day sometimes.
Have they got the right to do that? Who?
If it's an unofficial, just kind of fan page, it doesn't.
Oh, right.
And it's just
yeah,
for-
they're not like...
They're not making any
Well,
money off of it or anything.
yeah, theoretically, but then I suppose if you get loads of followers, maybe you are in a way.
Not necessarily. Not if you do it if you don't do it as a business page. I think. You know.
So how long was the output produced over? How many years was it? Is it...
I want to say 10 years. Yeah. Yeah, because the collection itself only collects 10 years, like the big four or five leather bound.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Leather art or not?
Yeah, and the big ones.
Yeah, the huge ones, big brown ones. But they're actually dirt cheap now.
Yeah.
They used to be loads of money, and now they're only like 30, 40 quid for the
Oh,
whole
right.
collection. Yeah.
Oh, so it'd be worth actually. Now would be the time to get it.
Actually, if you
What
can
what
get
I will say is that heavy one though it's not easy to read.
no, it's huge.
It's either you need a table in front of you or
Oh right.
There's
It's not
it's a
in
book.
bed before you go to sleep.
No. That's, you get these.
unless you're going to crush yourself. It's one of those where
You definitely get these for that,
Right.
which is what.
you'd wake up thinking you're having a heart attack. You go, this is heavy weight on my chest.
It's cabin. It is. It's that dark stuff weighing on it.
It's definitely more a shelf piece than anything
Right.
else. It's to show off kind of thing. But it's
So it's all in one leather bound.
no,
No, it's 3 books.
All right.
What's there is a fourth in the collection, but I think the fourth one is all like words from and stuff like that, and essays and shit like that. But I can't remember.
Essays about it
I think it's something like that, or there's like
by the
outtakes or something. I don't know. There's loads of different.
There's been a number of
world's first.
theoretical studies and academic studies of it. For a long period of time as well, it was the only book, it was the only comic book that was held in Edinburgh University Library reading room, as in it was one of the ones that you couldn't check out.
Ah,
You could
right.
only read it in the room.
Yeah.
Because too many people were clearly nicking it.
Yeah, going away with it.
Which one? Cabin and
The
Hall.
Gavin
Gavin
Ellis
Ellis.
collection. Yeah, I'm sure it was held as part of the Divinity set as well, which was even funny.
It's amazing. But yeah, you can get them. The ones,
Oh.
these ones, you can get them dirt cheap on eBay. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Go on eBay, people are selling them for like 99 pence,
Yeah.
free postage. Which is, this is the only one I've actually
Free postage.
got. Yeah.
How the fuck did they do that?
I don't know. I just,
I
you'll
mean,
get
literally they're selling it for like 10 pence.
you'll get places like World of Books and stuff will do.
Oh
stuff like
yeah, I
that as well.
suppose. Yeah, they'll have numerous copies
Yeah,
and stuff. Yes.
Dave, what's your favourite female comic book character?
Well, yeah, She-Hulk and Spider-Man. And Big Barda was great.
So what is that? Is she there? Let's see what all the fuss is about with Big Barda. There's all the fuss about Big Barda.
Yeah, Mike kicks up one hell of a fuss about Big Brother.
Yeah,
That's Big Barda.
Mike likes a bit of it.
But to be fair, all the female Furies.
Mm-hmm.
Big Barda was
You can
great.
see how if she was cast by the right woman, you'd be like, oh, aye, look at.
Well, what was it? JLI had a had a page of her like coming out the shower on the telephone or something. And
Oh,
I think every teenage boy at that point went, "Woo!"
He's so dramatic, Kirby, and he'll.
yeah, that's great.
They're just like
Oh,
they're always halfway, like that's what the fucking needs. Woof.
really, she's the dramatic character in the couple.
Yeah, because
You know, it's almost her.
Mr.
Sorting
Miracle,
that out.
he's the kind of
He stood off to the side going, what happened to Barda? You know?
Well, again, it's an interesting thing in terms of how they took forward the new gods at that point about saying, right, so if we're going to put a group together that are the fighting force for the head protagonist and actually choose to make them all female, that in itself
Yeah,
was
the
quite,
Furies, yeah.
and okay, well, we're coming out of that in terms of that. So that was an interesting, push forward in terms of the dynamic of the.
When was that?
Early 70s.
Early 70s for
You
the
see,
Kirby piece.
I wonder whether that was an organic thing that they chose to do
That's Kirby all the way.
creatively,
Exactly.
rather than it being this kind of shamed enforcing of.
he with that he
Of
was
it
working
now.
on his own. It was his idea.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what I mean. That's great. That's good, and that's a positive thing, rather than kind of being shamed into having to fulfill this or tick that box or whatever.
And
Fair
whether
play,
that
to
was
Kirby
his,
then.
was his choice or not, I don't know, but it's certainly from that perspective
Yeah.
of putting it forward that way, and the whole Granny Goodness piece that actually sit at the top of that, running it. It was a whole female set of characters that were just said, by the way, these are all badass and are going to be able to stand up against the new gods as they stand. They just happen to be female. Whatever, deal with it, move on.
Yeah.
I have to mention Love and Rockets as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, aye.
Luba.
Yep. Luba,
Luba.
Izzy, Maggie,
Maggie.
Penny. There's loads of them in that.
Why was it Luba
That's
that
great.
was the first one that rolled off the tongue though?
Well, it didn't roll
Shit,
off my
Rebecca.
tongue first, I don't think.
Hmm?
Tom said it first.
Oh, was it Tom that?
I
Oh,
didn't
right.
fall into the trap.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Well,
So that was
You know,
great.
Luba.
Luba was great.
Oh yeah.
She is great, yeah.
Mm.
Like a Mother Earth goddess, isn't she?
And a lot of times in Hate, Peter Bagge, Lisa, his girlfriend Lisa was more interesting than him a lot of the time. You know, because he was your usual. Well, I don't want to disparage it because I love it, but he was like, you understood him. He was a guy in his 20s, guns guy. You know, he didn't know quite what he was doing with his life. And he was annoyed at all his pals and all the usual kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Lisa was just all over the place. She didn't know where the hell she was coming from at any point, you know. She had some great stories on that. You got insight into her sex drive and everything, which was good.
The what,
I
sorry?
remember some guy turned up that used to know Buddy, and Lisa just took a shine to him, you know. And then, of course, they were at it, you know, when Buddy was away out. And I remember the issue sort of came in, and she was like, oh, I do love Buddy, you know, I'll stick with Buddy, yeah. And then just like, I never want a really good scene to phone the guy again. And that was how it ended. You know. She's like, oh, Buddy hasn't done me like this for years, you know. That was the thought woman. She was good. And then later on, I remember she wanted to join she joined a band and everything, and there was a whole issue about that. But then the singer turned out to be potty. You know. I don't know. She was just really good character as well. I thought Lisa.
Was she throughout the whole thing?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the start, it was Lisa and Val. He was kind of on and off with both of them, but then he moved in with Lisa.
Mm.
And, you know, I can't actually remember if they got married or not, but they certainly stayed together and had a kid and everything. So.
I'm trying to remember. Was Harvey Picar's Mrs. in American Splendor?
Sometimes.
I can't remember it being in a lot.
No. Well, that one they did where he had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
She had a part in that, big part in that. In fact, she sort of came into it was written by her and him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
When you had cancer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all like the really early stuff I remember before she even appeared. That thing.
Yeah. So I don't know who else. There's loads. There must be loads.
Have you got a
That's
definitive
one.
favourite?
I don't think so.
That was what I was going to say. Is there a definitive?
Well, yeah, when you came up with She-Hulk as being their number one,
Mhm.
I thought, I immediately thought, I don't think I've got a number one. I've not thought about it and landed on one.
Because I did that, Tom. I did a big list, and I was coming with things from
Mm.
Marvel, from DC, from
Yeah.
Europe as well, like Adele Blansek,
Mhm.
for example, Chihuahua
Druna, you know.
Druna, or Chihuahua Pearl from
Druna.
Blueberry Comics, or even Marjane Satrapi, because she's the main character in her own comic book, Persepolis.
A lot of the
You know, so it's
Oh
all-
yeah, that's it. She's
So
a
you-
great character.
So I was
yeah.
coming with lots and lots of names. I said, well,
Yeah.
if I need to choose one, I need to choose one and a reason. But there's so many, you know, you could go and yeah, with Marjane Satrapi, I thought, well, yeah, that's a real person, and she's the creator, but she's also the character in the comic, and she's there's very dark topics and themes going on the whole book, but at the same time, you know, there's a lot of humor in it, and it's that.
I was similarly like that. I was thinking of like Phoebe Glockner, you know, the whole story of her teenage life. But then I thought, well, it's kind of a character, but not really.
Who's that, sorry?
Yeah, that's
Phoebe Glockner,
that gets.
Diary of a Teenage Girl. You read that one? It's good. It's worth a read. You know, with Byrne as well, you had Storm
Yeah,
and
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey.
Yeah,
And Heather.
X-Men
characters.
Heather Hudson, because he was a
I
big,
like that as
he
well.
was a big character in Alpha Flight, and she wasn't one of the superheroes.
Yeah.
Heather.
Yeah. Yeah. Did she not? She took over, didn't she?
Later she became, but
Yes.
the John
That's
Byrne
right.
part of it, she was the wife of one of them.
That's right, yeah. And then he died.
But then she was the kind of the common thread line for the whole series.
Yes.
because you were following her, and so that was quite interesting as well. I nearly chose that as well, but I don't know. I'm just gonna go for She-Hulk.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was,
Had to take a decision somewhere. Giuseppe?
No.
Nothing. Not
Not
even
even one off the top of your head.
one on top of your
Well-
head. Just
No, because it's just really stupid young boy stuff like Spider-Woman and fucking Wonder Woman.
so what?
TV
So
series.
what?
That's
But yeah, but that's not.
It's a great choice though. Spider-Woman. Original
There's more
costume.
to it than my loins.
It's also Wonder Woman
Red
stuff.
and
The
yellow.
thing is, to actually get back into the history of the Wonder Woman stuff, where
Yeah.
it gets really wacky. And
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what I mean. It doesn't do it just because I've not read it.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's a film out recently that's got
Yeah.
about the history of the William Marston that produced it and stuff, and his wife and
his
their
lover.
Their lover.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's right.
Yeah.
Because it ends up that the two women end up living together after he dies. But the whole backstory of him being into bondage, or them being into bondage and stuff, and how that actually creeped into the early comics,
Oh.
and the whole stuff. about that is
1940s comics, and you see there's a lot
Really?
of bondage.
a lot.
The funny thing is as well.
that stuff would have been hot in them days.
The funny thing with the lasso of truth as well is they were the inventors of the original lie
Lie
detector,
detector.
but not the actual lie detector.
Who
it
were?
was
The guy who created Wonder Woman,
guy
William
who created
Marston.
Wonder Woman. Yeah,
He created the lie detector.
not the lie detector. He created the Marston something or other.
It's akin to.
Yeah,
It's-
it was basically the predecessor to the lie detector. So they created the idea. They created patented the thing.
Brilliant.
So that was how the lasso of truth came into it. Is because they were working on the.
So how does that lasso? Now that we're on it, how does that work? Does the person have to get whipped or just held?
No,
by it?
held.
lassoed by it. Oddly enough.
Tell me the fucking
Funnily enough, it's
If you
actually-
have-
Oh, colours in it. Yeah. It's not
if
whipping
you
it.
are in contact with it, or you've been trapped, you are compelled to tell the truth.
funnily enough, it's one of the very few.
Do you like
things-
this outfit?
It's one of the very, very few things that the Justice League, the newest film, got right. Is Aquaman at one point is sitting down chatting to them all, but he's sitting on the lasso of truth, and you don't know, and he starts just spouting off to them things, and he's like, "Oh, you're a dork," and he's
He
like,
doesn't
"Oh,
know that he's on it.
You know,
either
he
now.
starts like looking at Wonder Woman and being like, "You're hot, really hot," and he's like just spouting all this stuff off, and then eventually he gets up and he's like, "Oh my god, yeah."
Oh, that's
It's one of
funny.
the very few things that they got right. He's just,
That's funny.
fuck man, you're really intense and shit like that. Yeah.
But no, but I mean, I wanted to be able to
She's about the only thing.
really
right
just
as well.
think outside the box and think of something a bit more.
What about you, Alan?
Yeah.
So I had three in mind that where I was trying to come out from perspective of saying characters who I really like, but they end up not necessarily recognising that they're female until you sit down and think about it. So, that actually is a female character.
Okay.
So the three that I had in mind that came to me, that one was Renee Montoya from the sort of Gotham Police Department piece. Again,
Mhm.
which, key component of that.
Mhm.
I also had in mind Tara Chance from Coon and Country,
Mm-hmm.
the old book there.
Yep.
Again, where it's very much you're like going, oh yeah, it's a spy book about a spy who does things. Oh, it happens that she's female. Go figure. The only time that ever becomes important in the whole storyline is when she is pregnant in one of the later books. But the one I plunked in terms of saying the favourite is Amanda Waller. From
Okay.
DC.
Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
Because she is a character that holds together the universe in terms of the DC setup. She's arguably one of the most powerful characters in the DC world, where it's all her power comes from knowledge and information and influence. And at no point do you go, oh, and by the way, she's a woman.
Yeah.
It's so very much that.
Who was she? I don't.
Amanda Waller.
So basically established as the head of the Suicide Squad or Task
Oh,
Force X,
right.
and basically so she's the one that goes, yeah, I'm going to send you out on a mission, and I actually don't care if you come back or not.
Oh right. Okay.
And by the way, if you think you're going to run off, I've put a bomb in your neck and you're going to have your head blown off. So she's that badass and just doesn't care. She's one of the. I don't know if it's still in continuity, but she knows who Bruce Wayne is, and but doesn't actually tell anybody because again the information is more powerful than actually.
She has.
How
Tell
does
me
she,
about-
how does she know? Or how did you come across that?
Ooh, that's a very good question.
Because she has information about everyone.
Yeah, I thought the
She's
whole point was
she
that
knows-
she's just cursed with.
All right,
knowledge in a
so
way because
she
was
mentioned
deep
it's
dive.
not.
It's
You've
deep
not.
government.
You've not seen how she knows that, but she's mentioned that she knows who
it's
Batman
deep,
is.
so she's
right.
deep government state, right? In terms of Black Ops, the full thing.
Right.
The Men in Black sort of thing, agency.
If information needs to be found out, it's been found out by fair means or foul.
But
And
she's
she's
the man.
You know,
She's in that position to have that.
She's
info, right?
another one that's going to turn up in the later Justice League Internationals, and she's used very well in that. So you'll get to know her then, because we're going through
The funny
that
ones.
series, yeah.
The
I thought
funny
she was-
ones.
Yeah.
Oh right,
She's
oh,
in the-
I thought she was already in one.
Maybe, but she's got a bigger story.
Volume
going on.
2 because the
She appeared
Suicide
with the
Squad was
Suicide Squad in the episode of
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
That's right. Yeah, she
Briefly
was in that.
there, but
But there's a
I
bit
remember
she
they comes
comes
later.
out. It's
Yeah.
just
Right.
a
when
bit
she goes
hard.
up against Max Lord and that
Yeah.
set of stuff, yeah, that's
Yeah.
when it's because
Yeah.
she. If you're reading that where you've got Max Lord on one side,
Yeah.
basically she's the antithesis of that, but running the
Oh, right,
the
okay.
Black Ops options, if you like.
Yeah. Cool.
But again, to me, she's one of these people that holds together the whole DC universe.
Did you read that series as well? Justice League International.
At the time, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so did that. I love it.
I got introduced it through
Oh.
these guys. Fucking great. series.
It's when you
Funny.
move on to doing Europe as well, and you've got to touch on Antarctica at some point in time.
That's classic. Was that too
Njord.
far?
With G-Dot. Oh,
Njord.
yeah. No, it's
Oh,
brilliant.
wow.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Njord.
It's as good as it gets.
Oh yeah, great.
But yeah. So that was my thought process of how I got to
What was the second one? Sorry, you said
Tara Chance,
Tara Chance.
which is a Queen Country. If you want to know what a spy book should be,
That's
read
the
Queen and Country.
man. Country.
I've just had one come to mind.
Great Raka.
Yeah.
Really good.
Do you know when I just thought of actually? I totally forgot about
Velvet.
Velvet, yeah. Oh,
Velvet.
that's straight.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, Velvet's unbelievable. I
Velvet
could-
is published by Image.
Right.
They've done about 20.
Um,
18 episodes.
I
Or,
thought it was 18.
yeah, 18 episodes
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
so.
they could
but-
do more.
So you have this kick-ass spy agent
Do you know what?
comes out of retirement to
Track down who?
track down the bodies,
Mm-hmm.
and it transpires this is a woman. Everyone thinks it's just the.
The
Imagine the Miss Moneypenny.
Yeah.
Actually, she was a field agent when she was younger, and she is just. It's fantastic. You just fall in love with the character.
Do you know
And
what?
it's all based kind of in the 60s
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
era. And the art is just beautiful and it's really good.
I
It's
watched
great.
Atomic Blonde not that long ago, and it's very similar. Very similar. But that is an entirely different book all in itself as well.
Yeah.
Coldest City. What was it called? Atomic Blonde's not bad. Coldest City is a brilliant book.
Yeah.
The relationship between the film and the book is pretty limited.
Yeah.
I would recommend the book.
Atomic Blonde, the film, is the kind of same kind of premise as Velvet, except Velvet's done a heck of a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just like the way she's written and everything is just fantastic. She's effectively just James Bond, but if James Bond didn't have any sort of limits, he has sort of limits in a way, whereas she just keeps going. She's like a train. She just absolutely powers through everybody. Anybody tries to slow
But
her
she
down
has
in any
but she
way,
has no
she's-
option because I
Yeah,
mean,
she has to find
in
out
the story
information.
it's very very well clear, you know. It's not this is not based in 2018. This is based in the 1960s. Women are not meant to be agents. Women are not meant to be, you know, the ones that actually take the action, do this and do that. They are not meant to be the leaders. So he always, the writer, goes back to that point and says, well, remember this. This is the strength of the character. And she just goes through and says, you know, I own my own. I have to do this because no one is going to give me anything.
Because that's one of the things that's totally lost with Atomic Blonde is the fact that it's actually set in the early 80s. Yet they don't really play on that enough to draw out. Well, in the Coldest City book is really drawn out that the fact that the settings of that are much better and much clearer in terms of that.
Well, in the comic, it's with Velvet, you always reminded in a way that you have when you think about. Oh, wait a second, you were looking in the 1960s. This is completely different. The appreciation of that a woman could be a professional. Never mind an agent for the government here. Never mind a super spy. I mean, that just it's just impossible. But it works through that very well.
A lot of people.
And she manipulates, and she uses that in the same way that James Bond would do.
Mm-hmm.
She uses that accordingly and properly, and because she has the objective in there inside, and she says, "Well, I need to do this because."
There's also that thing of like she literally in that book she cannot trust a single person.
Exactly,
At
it's
all.
on her own.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Really, really good.
Absolutely love it. Yep.
So there you are.
Halo Jones.
Hello, Jones.
Mm.
Martha Washington.
Wow.
There's a
Sci-fi. Can we ask Alan questions now about his work?
Oh yeah, go for it.
You want to? As long as you don't still expect sensible answers.
But how did you get into comics, Alan?
How did I get into comics?
Yeah.
Well, right. So comics have just always been
Yeah.
there in the background for me. I was given them as a child, and therefore had my dandy, had my Beano, had whatever. And then over time that progressed to what was at the time the science fiction bookshop in Edinburgh.
Yeah. Great.
And I slowly started building up a comic collection that way.
Mm-hmm.
Started attending conventions, and there's a group of us from Edinburgh that used to go down to Bristol as it was at the time, and various other shows and things. And slowly but surely we decided, actually you could be on the other side of the table if we wanted to do some of the our own small press stuff. Now my art background isn't that deep or detailed, but I found a means that worked for me and started doing the Penguin stuff, and here we are 5.5 years later with it going out on a daily basis. So it was more like just that sort of natural progression of being fan, moved to doodler, moved to putting it out there.
So you hadn't drawn as a kid?
Well,
Yeah.
just, as I didn't... I did technical drawing as my sort of specialty in terms of
Right.
arts training, in terms of at school and that.
Right.
I didn't really do art, but I was, other than up to 40 or whatever.
What were you doing, like reinforced concrete detailing or something?
I'm a mathematician by trade.
Right.
So-
I did civil engineering, so I've done technical
Oh, I
drawing
did,
as well. Yeah.
So I did a little bit of architecture at the uni.
Right,
and
okay, cool.
Stuff. So I moved down that route. So I'm not, I
Right.
didn't go and do art at uni or
Okay.
anything like that.
But it
So-
isn't like you just picked up
No. I
the pen there when you thought, I've got this idea,
and
right?
stuff,
Yeah.
and as I say, it was just a case of finding
Excuse me.
an outlet and approach with regard to delivering it.
Yeah.
And then what I've then done is I've moved through the Penguin piece. I've established a means by which I can draw the penguins quite easily and quickly. I've created essentially an alphabet of bodies, faces, eyes, different arms in different locations and stuff. So I can turn around and say, right, if I just need to put a penguin together quickly, it's one of those, one of those, one of those, one of those. And
So it's digital.
no, it's
No.
all hand drawn.
Yeah.
But in my head I've got the same right. So if I need to
Oh,
draw a penguin,
nice.
here's an alphabet of
Right.
all
So you have
those.
your designs
Yeah.
there, and then you work. And you decide, all right,
Sorry,
I'm going
if,
to do this one, and then this one. From
I say this.
together.
Well, I'd love to
It's
see-
not written, it's not done. It's all in the head.
Yeah, I'd
but-
love to see that alphabet of your like. It'd be like the penguin in just slightly different colours.
Right,
So,
it's
I'd love to see it all tabulated. It'd be
I was
brilliant.
at a talk by Tom Gold, who's an artist for The Guardian and a New Scientist, and he did a book on robots for something. And basically he actually did do 3 or 4 pages of, here's a page of nothing but robot heads, here's a page of nothing but robot bodies, nothing but legs, nothing but arms. So you had 20 heads, 20 bodies, 20 legs. So literally, you could say, right, any combination, there's a new robot, and that was his way of going. If I've got to create hundreds of robots for this book, this is my way of doing it.
Yeah.
I can just hear all the bits and just So in my head, that's how I also do the penguins in
Right.
terms of saying these are all the bits, and that's how I can churn through them as quickly.
That's great.
And then it's just
Interesting.
coming up with stupid jokes and bad puns all the time.
Oh, yeah, because I'm a fan of these like strips as well, and people that are able to do day after day and stuff. Do you have fertile periods where you're able to like produce several more than one a day, and you kind of store them up in a way?
I go through a sort of two-stage process in terms of how I come up with the ideas. In that I'll create a long list of particular topics, and I'll let them sit for a while. Not least of which I need that they need to mature and gestate to get through that process of saying how does this joke actually work in practice. But it's things like that where you're going right. What if you're going to do the senses, which is the one you've got in front of you? It's a case of that's fine. So you've written that down as going right. I must do something with the senses, but it needs to sit for a while you can add to it and let it build up to say here's the ideas in terms of how we build it out. But what I'll also do at times is say right, come up with a core idea and see what the legs come off that.
Right.
So I might do something like, I think the example I've used elsewhere is the circus. And say, right, so if I say I'm going to do a wee theme on the circus, I can then say, right, so there's going to be acrobats at it, there's going to be clowns there, there's going to be an elephant or something like that. And say, right, so these are all the ones that can hang off that central idea of circus and build that up in terms of saying, here's a spider's web of all the different ideas together.
Yeah,
and it grows from that. Beyond that, it's as I say, it's just finding finding an idea online. Say, I'm going to keep that and run with it later. Some of it's just silliness, or most of it's just silliness.
Did it always start as you were thinking like strips as opposed to
No. So when I first started them, I was doing them more as single image pieces, so more sort of Far Side one and dones. Where I was doing other things with that as well, where it was more putting a penguin in any sort of context. So there was like drawing a dollar bill, but with the penguin rather than the whatever president said it should be. And there is about 300 of them up online as well.
Right, okay.
Some of which have then been remastered into 3-panel strips in terms of how to do it. But
have you put them in the big book, the Treasury?
There's some of them, a selected number, because some of them are not very good. Some of them are very, some of them are very early in the process versus.
I think I remember.
So in the Treasury there's things like the opening to the Lion King is in the Treasury edition. Where
it is. Yeah.
Holding a baby penguin above its head. That
the wee fluffy one.
And then it just moved, partially at the insistence of people like Bob Turner saying, "Oh, no, you really need to move this on to something else," and so it moved it onto the 3-panel piece. And then every now and again, I get the notion to do what I call a Sunday strip, which is the sort of
slightly longer,
the sort of bigger size ones like that, where it's just trying to what you'd see in the Sunday Post.
Yeah,
is the way I would put it.
You did one recently, not long ago, where you were going to change the penguin character.
Oh yeah.
Is that just
no? That was just an idea based on something. I can't remember if I'd been watching a program on the 80s or I'd been watching, but the whole concept of New Coke, which may or may not be remembered by everybody. But so New Coke was introduced in mid 80s, late 90s, early 90s,
early 90s, I would say.
And it was the concept of the fact that this had been introduced, people had hated it, and then there was something to bring it back as to whether we would go ahead with it or not. So I always knew it was never going to last. But it was because you got to sell it as a story of going, oh, no, I've changed everything. And so if you're not read that, it was basically a case of I said, right, I'm going to change the design of the character entirely. And say, here's the new version of the penguin. This is new penguin for a new era. And so I was using the words like era and that as well to be flipping back to me. And I made the new character absolutely sickly sweet. which again, New Coke was
Big doe eyes,
Sweet.
big round nose,
it was much
big
sweeter
doe body.
than and then it just put that whole to the right. And in between this, I was running alternate strips as well, where the older design of the Penguin was going. I've been chucked in one strip. This is outrageous, and sat on a park bench, very lonely, and all that sort of stuff.
Second to drink. Yeah.
Not far off it. What was really nice actually was one of the guys in the States that follows me, who does his own little penguin strip that's completely unconnected. He actually took this on board and actually drew in his strip the penguin turning up for a job interview. Which was a really nice.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it was completely unasked for. It was one of those that the guy went, "Done this." I was like, "This is amazing," So it was like, "Oh yeah, we chucked it out." So then allegedly put it out to the public vote, and people came back and said, "No, you must go back to the old one," and so we did. So no, it was just again. I knew what the end game always was, but it was really funny to actually follow people's reaction initially to go,
It was hilarious.
What are you doing? What is the point in this?
There was genuine, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was genuinely outraged in the comments. In the comments, they was just saying at the bottom, like, how could you change it? Like, you're so well known for this. This has gone for so long. Don't fucking change it. I'm like, Jesus.
Well, I have to say, my 9-year-old girl, she loved the new one.
Good.
Because she was reading some of them last night with me as well. And she's like, "Oh, I really like that one. It's really cute." Yeah, but I don't think that's the one he came.
No, that's the one
that very bad. Oh, but I really like it. Can you gonna tell him tomorrow? They said, "Yes, I will."
Sadly, it didn't last. No, we went back to old Penguin quite quickly, and the cynicism continues and returns.
Did you have any drop off? Did anybody actually?
No.
Good.
No.
Is that not always a worry? That you do something like that is just like you think
Quite
of it
good
as just
to
like
ditch the idiots, though, innit? If you can.
no, yeah, but you would do it thinking
anyone-
like, oh, this will be fun, and somebody genuinely takes it like, how dare you?
Yeah, but then it's like anyone that does that, I've got a problem with them because it's Alan's thing. That's what the fuck he wants with it. No, but it's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, there is that, but there was actually at least one person really early on in the. I'm presuming this is just a storyline.
Yeah.
So I think most people kind of knew that was going to be the gag. But yeah, if somebody wants to leave on that basis, they leave. Whatever.
What can you do? Yeah, it's like.
I don't try to overanalyze what will and won't work as well. I think if you try to, it's the whole thing about it. If you try to study comedy, it just dies.
I guess you've got the added thing as well of like if somebody doesn't like something, wait a couple of minutes and there'll be another one comes along.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, so.
Well, yeah, we could do. Hopefully.
Yeah.
And to be fair, one of the reviews I've had in the past is that machine gun humour piece of when you go through one of the books, it's like, and here's another one, and here's another one, and here's another one.
Yeah, that's how
like
do
the Timm
you fucking
Vine
come up with it all?
Comic strip.
Fair play.
So there's about 1,500 strips up on, just over 1,500 strips online, actually, depending on how you count them.
But yeah, 1500.
Have you had ideas and then thought, I like this idea, but it doesn't fit with the Penguin, and you think, I'll maybe use this for someone else?
Yes.
Yeah, that's happened,
you've got a
yeah.
copy of Sculpted there, just to be
Yeah,
like
I
easy.
think I do. Why not do it?
Oh yeah, there's those.
But
Well, that's those as well.
Yeah, those as well. Yeah. I've got, I think, Sculpted's upstairs actually by the bed.
But yeah, so I have done a couple of other things,
Yeah.
and there is the weird thing for me. A lot of the time, I treat the Penguin. I often always refer to it as the PG when I'm talking about it, and I keep thinking of it as being a PG thing because I keep it family friendly
Right,
and it,
yeah.
sort of stuff. So every now and again, I do come across ideas where I'm like going, "This is the Penguin after dark."
Mm-hmm.
If I was going to, if I was going to go down that route, but I've done a couple of kids' books where I was trying to do something different, and then there's another book I've done that's called Sculpted.
Mm-hmm.
And arguably this year's Inktober is a 6-page comic
Right.
that I've done
Good.
that brings up something else in terms of
That's good.
completely different in terms of its approach and setup.
Yeah, that's.
Is this a side thing or is this your main thing now? This is
Work-wise,
yeah.
well, no, this is entirely a side thing, completely. I keep accounts for it with regard to what it is, but no, this doesn't make any money. So no, I've done bits and bobs like this, though my primary focus is Penguin. Yeah, I find it really difficult to move on to writing other things when I try, which is one of the reasons why this year's Inktober has been interesting, is being a stream of consciousness going right, and the next panel is, and the next panel is. Purely because if I can't try to write anything else, the first thing I do is penguinize it.
Yeah. Okay.
And go.
Your head's in that mode.
How do you,
all the time?
It's like, how do I make that fit for penguins? How do I make that fit for penguins? And the other thing as well, because I'm so used to compressing and going, right, it's got to fit in 3 panels. That if you come up with an idea that's big and expansive, you kind of go, nah, it doesn't fit in 3 panels, so it goes to the back of the brain. And
it must be tough to like try and synthesize an idea down into.
But then if that's what you're doing all the time,
you know, all the time. And as I say, it's quite, to me, a lot of it's about creating rhythms. Right? So you've got within the actual comic 3 panels as well. You've got rhythm anyway, because it's pitch, swing, hit in terms of normally how it would go. So if that's what you're used to all the time, you can actually create. In fact, in Big Blue, has that got the Tetris gag in it? Which is
I think so.
Where it's got you're so used to having the 3 panels that you need to then flip to times to say, I'm going to break. You either break the 4th wall or you do something that's weird.
But that was interesting.
That's interesting. So, for example, where I'm doing, I'm going to make them fall out. You're so used to it being 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to make them fall out with each other. Therefore, they're going to rip the panel in half and actually become a 6-panel strip. But it's all about the fact that they're just not speaking to each other through the 6 panels.
Yeah.
Which again, because that whole thing about
I think,
making it run for a wee while in terms of what you can then do with that in terms of spreading it about. But that's just about, again, that going, right, create a rhythm. I'm going to break the rhythm by doing something like that. One of my favourite ones there is that I did one where it was like, you tell me more about this game you call Tetris. So I did 4 panels, but L-shaped. So you go, well, you get it. But
that's cool. There was a few cool, quirky
that's where
oddities like that.
I think that whole thing about establishing the rhythm of the 3 panels means you can then do the other ones, and they work better because they're on the offbeat rather than being the beats. Again, it's just purely because you're used to 3 panels that then suddenly works. Because in itself, you actually read that outright. Tell me more about this game you call Tetris. That's not a funny line in any form, shape, or fashion. It's slightly amusing that you've got the L-shaped piece, but it's actually even funnier if you're so used to reading 3 panels.
You've also got things like
that as well. I remember that one where they stepped out, didn't they?
Yeah. Which again is to me, those are just rhythm breaks because they become hopefully more amusing because of that, rather than just being exactly what you're used to. Therefore, it flows through.
Have you got any other ideas besides the penguin that you've got ruminating that you want to get out onto paper?
The long and the short of that is no. Well, actually, you know what? The one idea that I had kicking around for ages was that burning candle.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
In terms of what I did for October this year, I started off with a candle and said, right, on each page I'm going to have this candle burn down a little bit more. Right? That was the only premise I knew that I had in terms of, and I thought, there's a really nice horror story in that or something. I don't know. And it was just like, so every 4th day on October, I drew a candle that was burnt down a little bit further. So that beyond that, no. I've got something I need to do for a zine that's been pulled together by Bagge and Johnson, but
so people don't always follow the prompts, the clue. What do they call them?
No.
Right.
I think that was put in place just because people were going.
Shit, what
if you are seeing a blank sheet of paper, it's like, what am I supposed to do today?
Oh, right. So if you're faced with that, you can use that as a.
I think to me the best thing to do with Inktober is to turn around and say, right, what tool, or choose a tool that's new to you, or a technique, or a style that's not your normal style, and say, this is my opportunity to practice that. Right. So I spent a lot of time with the grey pens out and coloured things in from that perspective.
Because I was looking at yours and then looking at the prompts and thinking, I can't see where he's got that from.
If you go back to It's either the first one or the.
Some maybe were, and then others weren't. And I'm like, oh fuck, I don't. It's over my head.
To me, it's just about getting a drawing out every day and then trying to.
It's because I never participated in
Yeah.
that. I've only just heard about it this year that I was unaware of the.
Every year I see people doing it, whether it be comics folks or illustrators or anything, and it got to the point that I kept wanting to do it, and every year I kept putting off, and then it was yourself constantly just saying like just do something if you want to do it kind of thing. And then Claire Spiller as well from Wein and Zine that did the little hyenas at the top of it. She I was speaking to her about it and she was just like just draw.
Yeah.
Like, just draw something, draw anything.
Yeah, good.
And that was my theme.
Right.
Was just draw.
Just
It was
draw,
just draw anything. And the first thing I drew was myself. But it was because I've been trying to look for a simple character design for so long that I just went like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to do everything just as basic as possible and put it down on paper. And it just got more and more details as it was going. And it's probably not what I'm going to stick with, but just doing something. And then it got to the point of like every day it was like, right, what's been the most present thing throughout the day? So like one I drew a dog, and then the other one I drew Bowie and stuff like that. It's because I was listening to Bowie and it'd been a really dog focused day of like loads of stuff going on, shit like that.
Oh right, you do it then.
I have done it.
In
I've not
other
done it
years,
this-
right.
Yeah, I didn't do it this year. I knew it wasn't going all the time. So.
How's it feeling now? Is it feeling good or is it a bit of a drag?
I've bought 3 blank moleskin pads.
That's good, eh?
I want
It's
to
good.
continue drawing.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
brilliant.
it's kind of inspired me to keep going,
That's good.
which is good. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of sitting thinking, like, what am I going to do tonight?
Yeah.
What am I going to do? And I've done them each day as well. I've not skipped ahead.
I remember when I didn't have
No.
kids at all.
I can't blame your kids, man.
Oh, I'm not blaming.
Because you're lazy.
I'm not blaming them for everything, but I am blaming them for
It's not
part
your
of it.
kids'
I
fault.
do.
Oh no, it's not their fault that
It's
I'm
not your-
lazy.
It's one of the techniques you can do though is get yourself an egg timer and say,
Yeah.
right, the length of time that egg timer takes to run through, that's what I'm drawing. And when that stops, I stop.
Yeah.
And you kind
It's a
of
good
go,
one.
Some pros.
that way you're like,
I listened to somebody today that said like they'd asked them like when do you get time to draw, and he said it's not about like when I get time, it's when I make time or something like that. And it's like
That's right.
actively setting aside some time, even in like not a day but even in a week, just to do 10 minutes.
That's right. I remember speaking
5
to
minutes.
Nori about this,
Yeah.
and I was just saying, people say, I never got time to draw, and I says to him, that's just fucking ridiculous. Who's got time to draw? Nobody has got time to fucking draw. That's idiotic. There's too much stuff going on in life to be sitting drawing. So you've just got to make yourself do it. He was laughing. You knew what I meant.
But it's the same with
It's kind of true, isn't it?
it's the same with
You make the time.
it's the same with the podcast.
Come on,
isn't it?
G. we want to
Fucking
see
hell, I
your
didn't
drawings.
realise it. I'll get me caught. I'll fuck off.
You the man.
It's the same with
Jeez.
it's the
It's
same
great
with the
to-
Yeah,
podcast.
no, but it is right. Exactly what you say.
set yourself a schedule saying, right, I'm going to get a new comic out every day. Then you'll find the time to do it, because that's what I've done. Because that's part of the interesting challenge with it as well. To me, it's been it has to get done. It has
But
to
he
get done.
did
You've got to-
hit on the point, on the main point.
What?
Laziness. that is a hard habit to break.
And that's
But
what I'm
we're
saying.
all lazy.
I will look at my where I'll pencil something and go, right, it needs to be inked. And then you're suddenly going, that's sat there for a couple of hours now when I've just been watching the telly doing nothing, and I could have I could have it done. And you suddenly go, oh yeah, that I need to get into the pile of, because if I don't do it now, then I'm going to start falling behind, and then and it is like one next day and the next day and the next, So actually having that premise for me has been a good thing to say. It's a daily strip, so therefore you have to draw once a day. I try to get a week ahead.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
run at least a week ahead if I can.
Yeah.
But it's still, you're thinking, well, even if I'm a week ahead, if I don't do tonight's, then I'm only 60s ahead.
That's right.
Suddenly I'll
Yeah,
go,
that's what I was wondering about,
Yeah.
like how much ahead or whether. Yeah. The
I've got
stress,
advantage
the
now
pressure.
where, there's always ones online. I can dip back and go, right, well, this is what you get today. Most people won't remember that.
That's
you got this 2
funny
years ago.
you say that, because not at the same extent, but I do a monthly one,
Mm.
and I never put one up until I've done the next month's one.
Right.
I always want 2 sitting there, and then I put one up.
Is that belting?
No, the T Bridge.
Oh, the T Bridge one.
Last time,
Right.
I don't know. I just got into wanting that cushion.
You'll
do it. You'll do it.
Yeah, but you're involved in it. It's good. It's you do it. It's one of your big fucking passions in life, isn't it? It's bound to be something that you do actively and keep at
But
it.
it's your passion as well.
Well,
Yeah, put
Not
this.
Look,
much.
you're sat here.
yeah, no, comics is, but
Yeah.
not so much
Put it this
drawing
way,
anymore.
if you look back on, I think it was day one when I did Inktober, I said I've not drawn anything in about 8 years or something like that. I've not put pen to paper and drawn something. I mean, I've maybe drawn like a character or something on like out of boredom more than anything, like just sitting out listening to somebody and I'm just yeah. But it's not enough, not actually focused.
I mean, it is ironic that I mentioned it because in this past month is actually a month that I've drawn more than I have in the past 20 years, but I've not drawn for myself. I've been copying stuff for my son in his book, and then he in a nice hardback book that he's got because he's getting into drawing and stuff.
Oh, good.
So I've been copying stuff out of that Marvel, the British collection thing. You know, the one that you like.
Yeah.
I've been picking ones out of there, like
That's
the
good.
Submariner and things, and then he'll come and
That's a good
Colour-
way to
colour
put
it in.
things up, though, copy.
But it's been nice copying Kirby.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's been nice.
Yeah. Nice.
Trying to get that fucking hand right and that Kirby hand.
Every so often on this, I don't know if you know or not, somebody mentions Kirby and we'll just lose it. Like, the conversation is just derailed.
There's
It's just
there's Star Wars,
Nobody could think
Kirby,
anymore.
Alan Moore. There's kind of these topics all appear somehow.
Kirby.
Somehow.
And that's it. It's just derailed.
Sorry.
And it's like
No,
half an
it's
hour
good.
of
It's
us
always
sitting
pleasurable.
Oh fucking.
But suddenly everything's just like white noise.
Yeah. All of us over each other.
Yeah. So there you go. Inktober.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do, isn't it?
It's it's been fun.
Yeah, it's good.
That's it. It's about to me, it's about stretching or doing something different, and
Yes.
therefore,
You're looking at it from an art practice kind of idea.
or giving that focus to say,
Yeah.
it's not like
I
you
remember
say it's
that.
about you need those images, or you need those
Yeah.
impetus to break the cycle of going right. What is
Try
going to make
different
me do
things, yeah.
something different or try something different? And why not? As you October is just say, right, you know what, just do it.
Good.
Because I tried it one day early on and I was looking at the prompts and I just couldn't come up with anything, thinking, I don't have anything.
I think the
Not
prompts
Not even
are-
a shit drawing.
No.
I didn't even have a shit
A
drawing.
shit drawing counts.
I think the
No,
prompts
but
are
it wasn't
very
even
distracting.
shit.
It's not even shit.
It was kind of fucking not there.
Nothing was there.
I
No.
definitely think the prompts are very distracting because
Yeah.
there's so many.
I suppose
ways
you
to
lose.
take it.
You run the risk, like I did, of losing myself in
Try to
it
over focus on it.
with and then hitting a wall.
I think that when I did it, I just thought, right, I'll do a comic strip every day, no matter what I think that is. 3 panels a page, even 1 panel. And then I would just get up and then at the end of the day, or as I was going around, I would think of something and think, right, that's my comic for today, and then work on it at night.
James Chapman did a pretty good one where he's literally just done like a tiny little coloured thing with the heading underneath, and he's just thought of something dead simple. So like Guarded, he's done like the glass in front of cakes in a cake shop and stuff like that. He's done
From
like
the prompts.
Yeah, from the
Right,
prompts,
right.
but he's just done something really simple from real life. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I don't know.
What was the example you gave there? Sorry?
Guarded?
Guarded.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So like the glass in front of the cakes in a cake shop. He's done stuff like that, or like I can't. There was another one he done. I don't know if he did this, but I have a thing in my head of like wash, and it's like a small car wash or something like that. You know, it's just the wee things like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does nobody want a bit of this carrot cake? It's very lovely.
Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah,
Being
I'll have
healthy, there's no need to. But you get tore in.
Well,
Thanks for talking about
Yeah.
this.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Alan.
So it's
Thank
always
God.
interesting to see how and why people do things, you know.
Yeah.
And you're never running out. You know, every day.
Plus,
Well,
well, shape,
well,
losing the bank.
it's
No,
one of the things in my head.
It's great.
How do I end it? That's the.
And so you are in the back of your mind. Could there be an ending, and what would it be?
If it was to end, or so when it ends, and it will, because you know,
Because everything does.
yeah.
In the glass.
I'd rather it had an ending
Okay.
than
that's
just
interesting.
stopped happening,
Yes. Good.
and that's and
Would it be an open ending to allow?
I have
Or would it be a
absolutely no idea.
walk into the sunset?
I'd quite happily sell the IP to somebody else if they want to take on and run with it. As I say, there have been guest artists, and if anyone ever wants to put their hand up and be part of it, I have no issue with that. But no, I would
I'll email you.
yeah, do that.
Oh, okay.
You will as well.
I will do it.
Yeah, you will.
That's here's the note.
Um,
Your email will be on. Oh, crap. Ready to go. Thanks.
Oh, nice touch.
I like the fact that the penguin's on the rocking horse.
Flip it if you prefer.
Ah, great. A free comic. Cool, man. I'll email you.
Yeah, do that. So there's one less day I need to do that week. That was my thought process.
All right. Good.
yeah, you could always have like a Calvin and Hobbes type thing.
Yeah, but he kind of just. I know he said this is going to be my last day, and they went off down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
To more
Walk into the
adventures.
sunset.
Yeah.
That's it.
Who did?
Calvin
Calvin
and
and
Hobbes.
Hobbes.
No,
Didn't
Watterson.
finish.
How did it finish? You went.
They were slave riding, and or was it a sleigh or a buggy? I can't remember.
No, it's in a sleigh, yeah, because it's in the snow.
And it was.
What was it? It ended.
No.
Oh right. Oh,
No,
I thought you meant he had a really bad accident.
No, it was dark.
It's not
Right.
that.
Oh, right.
There was a cliff at the very end.
I was like, oh fuck.
No, they go off into the distance.
Oh, right. In
More
a good
adventures
way.
to follow.
And then it was just a picture of a tree and the mum screaming, and that was it. No,
No,
yeah,
it's
it was
not-
like
it's not-
on
it's
to
not
more
the-
adventure or something like
The
that.
fat penguin sings. I don't know. It could be the. I don't know. It's, to me, it's like I'd rather it had an actual ending than
Yeah.
just I went one day. I've got no idea. And I don't know what that is or when that will be, but
Okay.
that's the thought.
That's
But it's,
interesting.
I say I've done it for 5.5 years now.
Yeah, and there's going to be
So there
some
comes a
fun.
point where
Yeah.
well, Watterson did it for 10. If I
There you
get
go.
to 10 years,
Aim
I'll
for
be
10.
more than happy to call it.
You should do it for like 10 in 1 month and just be like, beat your ass.
Mm.
Then Snoopy turns around and goes, by the way.
Yeah. Excuse me.
That's about it then, eh?
Yeah, well, I need to watch my time if
Well
I'm
done.
back over the bridges.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, no
Nice
worries.
to meet you, Alan.
yeah.
Nice to meet you,
I
Alan.
mean,
Thank you
yeah.
so much to bring
No,
all the
Yeah.
portfolio and
Enjoyed
everything,
seeing
sharing
some
That was
things
great.
were different.
And
few hours with
probably
us.
now we'll see you at different comics events
Yeah.
and things, yeah.
Well, I'm signing up from Dunfermline and I'm back at Edinburgh.
Oh, I'll see you at
next year as
Dunfermline.
well.
I'm
You
there.
too as well.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
As usual.
nice.
I see we don't get snowed off this year.
When is
Oh,
that?
they're talking about
March,
snow
Yeah.
Oh,
on the
right.
weekend.
Yeah.
What, in March again?
No,
No, this week.
This weekend.
Right.
Yeah. Oh God, no. No.
You already know that
I
you're
thought
going
it'd be a
next
good
year.
forecast, would it?
Oh,
Next month.
fuck.
You're going. You know that you're going next March. You mean?
Yeah.
It's on right.
Yeah, I'm tabling with John. Do you know John?
You doing what? Sorry.
Tabling. No, not a table. Sorry, they call it.
Oh right. Okay.
These toss pots that do these things called tabling.
Oh right. So that's why you're going. Right. I see what you mean. That's why you definitely know that you're going. Right.
Yeah. Because
But you
so many
go-
of these cons are getting further and further ahead in terms of their pre-booking.
Okay,
Every time as
Edinburgh.
well.
You doing that one?
Yeah.
Edinburgh. You there as well?
Yeah.
Great. See you there as well.
Is that?
That's like the end of November or something.
No, alright, sorry. Yes, I'm doing that. There's so many.
ECAF.
The ECAF Part 2.
Ah, right.
The
Yeah.
book festival.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
there.
I want to say the 30th. Something
Yeah,
like
that sounds
So
about
that's
right.
yeah. Oh, 25th.
25th. So now we've got ECAF in Dunfermline and then the big Edinburgh one, James Lundy's. It's the week after Dunfermline.
Good.
Perfect, guys. Well,
That
thank you
was
very
good.
much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Take some stuff with you.
Yeah, anybody want a bag? Any goodie bag or anything?
Do you know? I
Goodie
think
bags
these
or
are
goodie
donuts
bags?
for my boys. They're right.
Go for it, yeah.
See, because they're on the same.
to send us any comments or questions or just to say hello, you can reach us by email at thatcomicsmell@gmail.com. We're also available on Instagram and Twitter at thatcomicsmell. Share the podcast with your friends and followers. We're available on YouTube, Soundcloud and iTunes. And don't forget to rate, review and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Our music is by Chart Smasher, aka John Adam. You can find John on Twitter at JohnEdam, and you can buy the track Dial Up on Bandcamp.